Hello friends, today I'm going to demonstrate and show you how to install and configure SonarQube on Ubuntu. SonarQube is an open source tool which can use for analyze quality of the code. It can detect your code bugs, vulnerabilities and security black holes and code smells. SonarQube empowers you to write clean and safer code without breaking company code standards and code methodologies. SonarQube performs continuous code inspection using thousands of automated static code analyzing rules. So, which can perform code analysis manually or integrating with CI/CD tools such as Jenkins, Azure DevOps, or Bamboo, like those things. And also, you can integrate SonarQube with your IDEs such as Visual Studio, Eclipse, like those things. So let's get head over to tutorial. Before that, we need to identify what are the main requirement before proceeding the installation. So in my case, I am going to install and show you using Ubuntu 18.04. As a hardware requirement, you need at least 4 GB of RAM and one vCPU, one virtual CPU required. As a software requirement, you may need Oracle GRE 11 or OpenJDK 11. Which required OpenJDK 11 package to be installed on the system, and also I'm going to install PostgreSQL 12. So let's get head over. Have a good day and see you again.